Welcome back to the Avarice podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a minute. Probably doesn't seem like it to y'all. I know I don't even have any regular listeners. Who am I kidding? But for me, it's been a minute. I haven't recorded anything in probably a week and a half. I did have some stock built up that I was able to upload over the course of that time. But it was much more sparse than I had been for the past month or so. We just had some family come in to town and visit, and it was just really hard for me to figure out the time to get any of that kind of stuff done because my wife and kid were off of work and school for the entire week. It's people and that, it's just the whole routine got kind of jacked. And that's okay sometimes. I'm just not a big fan of breaking stride because it's hard to get back into, full gear immediately. So I'm probably going to be dragging ass tomorrow because I got to try to hit the ground running and get back to my regular routine. Anyway, continuing the commentary series on the Child's Play franchise. So we just did Bride of Chucky last, and now today I'm going to do Seed of Chucky. I've never watched the whole movie. Up until a couple weeks ago, I'd never seen any of it at all. I had, 20 minutes to myself while I was waiting for my wife to do something before we watched a TV show. And I threw Seed of Chucky on just to see what I was getting myself into. And I don't know, it was kind of corny. I watched a little bit of it. I don't know how it ends or where they're going with it, but they're really they're not taking themselves seriously anymore at all. It's very slapstick. It's very ridiculous. They're using Chucky as a vehicle for comedy as much as possible, as often as possible. Excuse me. They're not afraid to take big risks and make major decisions and do whatever they want. I gotta give them that. And it also appears to be a very meta style film. It appears to be more meta than any other Child's Play film is. It almost seems like a Wes Craven style film where there's a film within a film. It's like basically like Wes Craven directing a Child's Play movie from the portion of it that I saw. We've got kind of a weird ensemble cast of like Redman, Jennifer Tilly's back. They are now making movies about Chucky within the movie about Chucky. You know what I mean? So we have movies within movies. I will see how it goes. I wish that I had a better movie to return to recording on. I should have thought this out more. But I haven't figured out how I'm going to watch American Reunion yet because I don't possess it. So I couldn't do that. I didn't want to start by just jamming episodes of The Wire down my throat. And I was already in the middle of this and I have it queued up. So I just decided to go ahead and go with it. We'll see what happens. Of course, I have a lot of pent-up energy. I haven't been able to get out lately. I haven't been able, taking days off for me is stressful. That's something I need to work on. That's a personal problem. That's not anything that the environment puts on me. I like guilt trip myself about the stuff that I'm not doing, even though I don't need to do, I stress myself out about the fact that I only have so much time to live, and any day that I've wasted, I can never get back. And that's just not a sustainable pace. And it's not, I spend too much time worrying about the time and how much I'm getting done instead of just kind of enjoying along the way occasionally. So I got to work on that. That's my own shit. But nevertheless, that's the feeling. So, it's good to get back into the groove again. All right. That was a long intro. Ordinarily, I start off the podcast by making myself a cup of coffee, which I've already done. I was talking through that. And now I'm seated at my couch. I'm going to take the ceremonial bong hit, and then I will start playing the film. I'll give you a countdown so that if you're watching along with me, you can start yours at home, and then we'll be off and running. I'll basically be goofing on the movie, is what my guess is. They don't take themselves too seriously. I'm not going to take it too seriously. I'll see where they go with the storyline, obviously, the lore. I'm now kind of invested in this franchise. I never really was a fan, and now I've forced myself to think about something that I don't really like. But it's in there because I've force-fed myself all these movies consistently now. So now I'm left pondering shit that I don't even want to be pondering just because the info is jammed into my fucking retinas. Anyhow, let's go ahead and spark this bitch up, and then we'll start the movie. Alrighty. I'm just gonna flip the fucking lights off real quick. Ooh, creepy. Need some ominous music. Uno más? John Wayne. John Wayne? That's a terrible name for a cowboy. Oh, it hurts so bad. You know it. Okay. Alright, I'm getting it ready to go here, so get your shit ready to start. And I'm pushing play in 3, 2, 1, play. There we go. You probably hear that in the background. Fuse is lit. We're ready to roll. Hide behind the barricade. Head for the barricade. Fight. A David Krishner production in association with La Cienega Productions. A Don Mancini film. The blood is white. Jennifer Tilly. It's like a reversal of what we would normally get on a movie like this for an intro. Normally you would have blood dripping down, but instead we have like white paint. And now we get a shitty looking digital rendition or representation of Chucky's semen inside of Tiffany impregnating her, like on some Look Who's Talking shit. Like, this really looks like a Nintendo 64 version of the Look Who's Talking intro. We're getting little subliminal cuts of Chucky's fucked up face in between. It almost looks like he's looking through a peephole, like he's staring down her vagina, trying to see if his sperm are making it to the egg. Now we got some testes, and it's dividing cells, and we're off to the races with the baby. The baby. I don't know if that ever looked good, but I know that it doesn't look good now. It looks very corny and digital. Like, it looks like a very bad video game. And it's just a ripoff of fucking Look Who's Talking, like, literally. Except for the voiceover part, which is the best part of the intro of Look Who's Talking. This looks like a PowerPoint presentation on teaching the anatomy of a baby. Or the different periods of gestation. Oh, the ever-important Made in Japan. Fuck it. We'll get there. And then we just shot out of a vagina. That's how we started. We just shot out of a vagina. Yeah, that's a little unique. What the fuck do we have here?
That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Why are they English? How did we end up in England?
That's strange.
What is that guy eating?
Where did it come from?
Is that raw meat? Ugh.
Staring at me.
What the fuck are you eating, dude? So, at the end of the last one, Chucky got killed. I think he got left in his own grave. Tiffany was dead, but then came to life just to give birth to this weird baby thing with filed, sharp teeth, looked like an alien, and didn't seem to have doll-like characteristics at all. The Chucky's son is much more like a doll than I expected it to be, based off the ending of Bride of Chucky. It looked more humanoid. I think that they're trying to play this out so that the audience thinks that this is Chucky, because we know Chucky's all fucked up and ugly. It's from the perspective of the doll, so we don't see who it is. I guess you know by the title seat of Chucky that there's going to be a kid. I don't know. This ends up being the Chucky's son is having a nightmare about killing. It's like it's in his genes. It got passed on. His good guy overalls. Oh. Slick move. Maybe that's what was going on when I was a kid. I swear to God, I used to get in trouble for leaving shit out that I had cleaned up. And I'd go look, and it would be laying there, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I know I put you away. My toys must have been alive. Why are they English? I don't understand the decision to make him English. Damn! I like that shot of riding the body down the fall. It was like some hardcore Henry shit. Stabbing the dad in the chest and falling over the staircase and riding him down to the floor. See, the hand is very digital and... God damn it. Are we gonna see your boobies? Or your hoo-hoo? Or your ha-ha? Or your ho-ho? It's a nice bathtub. He's gonna murder his first naked girl. Yo, let me slit your vag. You do get to see a few boobies. A few. I just realized what I said. A couple of boobies. Aw, you fell in them. You've got underwear on. I can see it. She's got some beige panties on. She wasn't comfortable lying there naked for this. Or they didn't want to accidentally get some pubic hair in the shot. I should have paid more attention before. She might have been wearing those the entire time. I don't know why I should have paid more attention to that. Oh, first glimpse of his face. So we know it's not Chucky. And he is an ugly motherfucker. Not really sure why he turned out looking like that. Chucky's face is all fucked up, but why would he pass that on through his genes? He was fairly normal looking, just ginger doll before. Tiffany, before she made herself all up, was just a brunette, regular looking doll. Why is he fucked up? Play with us. Play with us. Like, why the fuck does he... Why is he green? So he was raised by this English guy around people who have English accents, so he dreams about English people? I guess that kind of makes sense. Oh, they're in England. Alright. How did he end up in England? What the fuck? They skip a whole lot of shit. Like this baby's born and spits blood into that cop's face. And then somehow survives to this point. And this fucking fraud is using him, pretending to be a ventriloquist, when he's just talking.
I was trying to give you a hug.
At least they made a real doll for these shots. I appreciate that, because the made in Japan thing that Chucky never had before, all of a sudden he has made in Japan on his wrist, and that's what he passed down to his son, is the fucking embossment on his wrist.
Oh, there he goes. Back to his family. Bloody envy him. Sometimes I wonder about my own parents.
So it appeared that they only used the digital shit
They serve the emperor.
for stuff that would be hard to accomplish. That point of view angle and getting a camera in with the doll arm out in front. They just used digital for that. Which, it looked like shit, but it's not of much consequence. So now this appears to be the graveyard where Chucky and Tiffany died in Bride of Chucky. So they're playing us a bit. If it's your first time seeing it, it only works once, of course. You think that this is the graveyard that Tiffany and Chucky died at. And you think this guy's about to get ginsued. And this movie actually gives you a hint of how they do the dolls in the movies. I'll talk about that later too, when it's on the screen so I can address it. See, Chucky's leaning against that tombstone, just like he was in Bride of Chucky. They're keeping the continuity of how he looks, too. He looks basically exactly the same. Because the first 3 movies, he got a new body every single time. And then he hasn't gotten a new body since then. They probably just used the same damn doll. She looks digital back there. That looks digital. But now she looks real.
I knew it! You're not real.
What? Like he's not the real Santa Claus?
You're never real. You know what that kind of disappointment can do to somebody?
You have any idea how that can...
So basically, these dolls are really complex robot puppets that have almost like a giant fiber optic cable plugged into their back. And that's how they control all the motor skills of them. That seems to be legit to me. That seems like that's probably what they do. And I never would have guessed that before. I always guessed that it was either camera tricks and an actual puppeteer, or that they had built like legit remote control robots. I never thought that they just had those things plugged into their back and they use camera tricks to not show it.
The dolls were found at the scene of a string of real-life murders which remain unsolved to this day.
That's fucking creepy. So this is what I meant by the meta aspect. This is a movie being shot about Tiffany and Chucky. They're not actually reanimated yet. They're not reincarnated, so to speak. But this is where it gets a little bit fucky for me. Jennifer Tilly was playing a character in Bride of Chucky that got killed. And the body of that, or the soul of that, got put into the doll. Now we have Jennifer Tilly back being the voice of the doll Tiffany and playing herself in human form. It's a bit of a mind fuck. I guess you can get away with it, but fuck, it's hard to swallow.
Julia Roberts is getting 25 mil for her next film. Julia Roberts. I'm so tired of hearing about Julia Roberts.
I'm tired of your voice already. It's good for the doll, but when I'm just looking at you, I don't want to hear it.
Right out from under me. You know how she did it? She slept with the director. That's what I think.
Oh.
How come I don't ever get any of the good roles anymore?
So, how do you guys feel about
Seriously.
the decision to have Jennifer Tilly be in the film
I mean, look
as
at
the doll
nominee.
and
Now fucking a pop.
as the real life person?
No paparazzi, no
Was it confusing to you? Do you like the twist? Can you wrap your head around it? Because to me, it's like it's just the same girl that just got killed in the last movie. It's really hard to differentiate. Oh, this is Jennifer Tilly as herself. In the last one, she was playing a character when she got murdered. It's like, yeah, okay, I guess.
It's just what I need to reinvent myself.
If the last one was more of like a meta style, they were gonna try something like this with Scream 3, and they decided not to for some reason, and it's probably was a good decision. If you don't know, they had brought Stu back, Matthew Lillard. They brought him back and paid him to come back and play the killer in the third movie. And they were probably going to do something along the meta lines, like it was a character or an actor playing Stu in the Stab films, something to that effect, or a twin brother. I don't know how they were going to plan to work that out, and they probably couldn't figure out a feasible way, so they decided to not use him, but he got paid for it. And that would have come off very similar to how this does, where you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? She just died in the last film, but no, it's the same actress, but playing a different character. This time she's playing herself. It's like, oh, fuck. So they're acknowledging that she's the voice of the doll, because she's only in the movie as the real life person, so she can be the voice of the doll in their movie within a movie. Oh, Jesus. Who's doing Chucky's voice? Where's Brad Dourif? Where's real life Brad Dourif? If you're gonna make us swallow this Jennifer Tilly sandwich, make it a double-decker and give us two layers of Brad Dourif. That running is fake as fuck. I guess it's effective. I can't even think of his name, but he's escaped his bullshit ventriloquist, whose life is over now because he's a con man, or he's a fraud. He's not good at ventriloquism or puppeteering. He just had this doll that's actually alive. He magically got on a plane. They're leaving a lot up in the air and just saying, fuck it. He went from escaping that guy to getting on an international flight to Los Angeles somehow. This kid's pretty streetwise considering he's so naive. More Jennifer Tilly. We needed this. Oh, and then Redman. I mean, I don't have a problem with him trying to do movies, and his music is great, but
I must tell you, I am with child.
it's not.
Mary, how could this be? In accordance with God's wishes,
I think he does a great, or I won't say great. He does a decent job with the role that he's asked to do. I just don't really like I don't like the writing at all. So
Do you? Do you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Jennifer Tilly's trying to improve her acting career
Oh, did I call you Red?
within the movie, playing herself, talking to Redman, who is apparently like a director or writer or something. I don't recall.
You already showed me a side of the character.
And he's just staring at her tits.
Oh, thank you.
But I think I'm gonna have to go with my first choice. Thanks for coming by.
I looked Jennifer Tilly up on IMDb the other day just because I wanted to see what other stuff she'd done besides these movies, if this was like what she was most famous for, etc. And she's 60 years old now. That made me go like, what? What is that right? Like, I forget that as I get older, everybody else gets older too. So I'll see somebody on Facebook or a celebrity and I'll be like, Jesus Christ, they've gotten a lot older. And it's like, well, yeah, so have I. It's just... Oh, word.
Oh, yes. Very.
This is on some Harvey Weinstein shit,
Shall we say? My place?
which they explored in Scream 3.
8 o'clock.
Which Scream 3 was like, what, 2000? 2001? Something like that? I didn't even check what year this was. I think this was 2004? Oh, Frankenstein monster.
Pardon me, sir.
Somehow Chucky and Tiffany's son is a bit of a pussy.
Sorry, sir.
Have you ever met another doll that's alive, dude? Why are you treating all them like they're animate objects? Haven't you realized through the course of your life that you're unique? You should know what people look like, and you should know what dolls look like. And you shouldn't expect dolls to be alive, because you've never seen another one. You're it. Stop acting like you interact with these fucking dolls all the time. So he's managed to have himself shipped directly to the studio, to the fucking prop room for the movie, and now he's standing in front of the robotic dolls that they're using in the film to play his parents.
Still have the necklace, you know me. I've always wanted to know.
And somehow he's gotten the amulet that Chucky had at the end of
Say something.
Bride of Chucky. And now, more revisionist history, if you can choke on this shit, it has like 2 or 3 lines of Chucky's spell written on the back. The kid knows how to read it, and just reading that little bit resurrects both of his parents. Remember when Chucky had to do like this big thing with his hand on the head and he had to repeat it, and it took like 30-45 seconds, and he had to say, "Give me the power, I beg of you," and all that, and it took like some real ninja shit. His son on his first try does a half-ass job, barely says a portion of the fucking spell, and it works on both of the parents. He doesn't even know who he's trying to like, where are their souls? He's 2 at once. I'm fucking shit face.
Guesses they're hiding.
Shut up, you asshole.
Come on. It looks like the kid fell off the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down.
I wouldn't talk if I were you.
I mean, you gotta feel bad for the parents. I wonder what they must look like.
Why does he have a green tint to his skin? I just think it's so cheesy that they added that in, and that's how he knows that Chucky's his dad, is because he has "Made in China" printed on his fucking wrist.
Sweet face, come to mom.
Also, the fact that she gave birth to him like 36 hours after her and Chucky fucked. That's remarkable as well.
What's going on? Where are we?
In Hollywood. I saw you on the telly.
Chucky, wake up! Look at us! We've had makeovers! We're movie stars!
You look exactly the same.
Shit. Barbie mode.
They don't walk and talk by themselves. Listen, if you want them to work, I'm going to have to take them apart.
Ooh. We've seen this before, where somebody thinks that they're just dolls and they come to life. Oh, he's gonna open her back up. It's like surgery. Does it hurt when I take you apart? Does it hurt? That was a pretty gangster move for Chucky to unplug his own back like that. What did he just... Chucky's like a MacGyver. Green screen. Looks bad. Oh, fuck. Exorcist shout out. Oof. They wrapped a piece of wire around his neck and pulled on it from both sides and cut his fucking head off. And now they're in love. And I think the son's gonna puke. Oh, you wanted to meet your parents, motherfucker. Here they are. This is where you come from. Sometimes some things are better left unknown. He's pissing his pants again.
Hey, you're pissing your pants.
Chucky, she just had an accident.
He had an accident.
Don't look at me.
They don't know what gender he is. The expressions on their faces. Oh my god.
A beautiful little girl.
It's just, for people who aren't watching, there's nothing there. It's just completely smooth, like you filled a vagina with Bondo and sanded it down.
Late bloomer, that's all. It's high time that you had a real...
It's completely ambiguous. There's not a slit. There's not a nub.
I'm gonna call you
Glenn. That's his name. Glenn.
What kind of name is that for a girl? Don't listen to him, honey. From now on, your name is Belinda. Right, Belinda.
Okay, so now Jennifer Tilly is in the prop truck. Or the prop room. That's interesting. Is she gonna get murked? Because I wouldn't mind that at all. And of course, she thinks that this is just a fake body, because that's what they do. They waste their money staging a whole murder scene inside of the prop room. See, these are the same person. This is... I guess it's okay. I guess it's a movie and you can do whatever the fuck you want, and you're already kind of ridiculous and slapstick. You're going down the meta route. It's just... I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Is he gonna blink or something?
You look surreal.
Oh, that goop dripping out of the bottom.
You're cuter than my last boyfriend.
They turned heavy and down this road in the last movie with they got to go a bit overboard with the gore to satisfy a certain audience. I think that's what they felt anyway. I don't think that's necessary in horror. I don't think you have to pander and cater to the gore audience and the nudity audience and the torture audience and all these different kind of niche groups that comprise the horror genre. I feel like they try to jam 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag a lot of the time, and it just comes off like you're doing it just for the sake of doing it. It's just Halloween 1, the fucking one of the best of all time, right? Look how much gore is in that movie. Look how much overt violence is actually shown on screen in that movie. And barely any nudity at all. Like, those, you can get it across without pandering. But when you're this deep into well, no, I was about to say something that wouldn't have made sense. I was going to say when you're this deep into the franchise, it's hard to get anybody interested in making your movie who's not of that ilk. But all of these have been made by the same people, or by Don Mancini. So that's that theory doesn't hold up. I was talking and I didn't see how they got into her limo. Oh, she rides up front.
We're from Jersey. Just like Jennifer Tilly's playing me in a movie. It's absolutely perfect casting.
The voice.
I know. She sounds just like an angel. Not fun at all.
Oh, way to address it. It's not funny though.
And you're going to solid red paper.
I'm down with that.
Well, Dixie's
Like, they're connected a lot of dots for this that are pretty far apart. Just the fact that the kid has that fucking amulet necklace that Chucky died with in the last movie,
you're going to
and that it now has the spell written on the back of it. How did the kid get to be this grown up?
tell you that.
Where is he? How did he get to fucking England?
The only sensible option is a surrogate.
And people are all of a sudden making movies about Chucky. You know what I mean? He's been kind of this mythical figure in the lore of this, you know, this fictional storyline for quite some time. Why did it take till after the 4th movie for somebody to decide to make a movie about him within the movie? It's just, it doesn't really fit with the rest of the franchise to this point. We're going to Hollywood and we're doing this meta bullshit.
Jesus.
They decided to have the baby at the end of the last one. And I feel like you could have disregarded that just like you do the end of Halloween 4, moving into Halloween 5. And we just forget that Jamie was ever a murderous clown. I feel like that's what we should have done with this. Just ignore that she had that baby. There's no more fucking, there's no son. There's no, maybe have the couple still, but maybe just go back to regular Chucky. But they committed to having seed of Chucky, the son, passing the torch, whatever the fuck this is going to turn into.
Oh my god, she's a complete slut.
And now we've got like this doll family coming. It's... I might have had a point to all that, but by the time I got there, I forgot what the fuck it was.
Big Nick in the sleep tight.
Leave it on.
Oh,
Getting through these next few movies is going to be a bitch. I can talk a little bit about the remake to Child's Play that's coming out in the summer 2019 with Mark Hamill doing the voice of Chucky. I saw the trailer finally, and I'm not happy with how Chucky looks. You can tell that he's digital.
Violence is bad, isn't it?
If you've listened to my shit, watched my videos, you know I'm more of a fan of something that actually exists that's physical than digital. Just the way the light hits it, the way it moves, you can tell it's animate. You can tell that it's actually there. The way people react to it. So they went digital. They changed the way his face looks up a little bit. To me, he looks like the redheaded stepchild of Lord Farquaad from Shrek. Lord Farquaad. That was bad. Lord Farquaad. And Lord Farquaad. Sorry, I know I can say that in a more convincing way, and I just can't get it out right now. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I think Chucky looks like shit, if I'm being honest, in the trailer. I don't like it at all compared to this. What I'm looking at right now. I know this movie sucks, but the way that Chucky looks as a physical doll or robot, puppet, whatever he is, just plays a lot better. Is much more convincing and more appealing than this digital obsession that we've fallen into. Everything has to be fucking digital, and I hate it. It fits in certain circumstances, especially when it's something that you can't do by other means. But we just go overboard. Everything's digital. And it's dumb. But Mark Hamill, it doesn't have much. Just at the very end, he says, "Good night, Andy." And that was very good, because I had said that I wanted Mark Hamill to try to sound as much like Brad Dourif's Chucky as he could. I didn't want him to try to change it up too much, and just based off that one sentence, it sounds like he's staying true to the character. They did, I noticed, change the good guy dolls. He's now a buddy doll. I don't know why they decided to do that, if it's because they don't have the rights. And then I also heard that Mancini and Dourif are trying to do a television series based off Child's Play. And I don't know if that's going to continue with this lore.
Now, with artificial insemination, timing is everything, so you'll have to hurry. It shouldn't be a problem for you.
Yeah, just don't let that player get into her pants. I don't want him touching my woman till I'm him and you're her.
Right.
Artificial insemination.
Hey, aren't you gonna give me a hand here?
Oh my god. Oh.
Too tall. Hey,
Is he gonna look at little people porn? Dunner? Oh, Fangoria? Shout out to horror fans. That's an Easter egg for horror fans. I hate that pencil thin mustache. I guess it works for him. He's got a distinct look. I don't like it though. I don't like her black lipstick either. Reminds me of how everyone dressed in the early 90s. Fucking hey, that's a lot of pills. I think their plan here is to take over the bodies of Jennifer Tilly and Redman. So in an even weirder twist, Jennifer Tilly would have been playing Tiffany in Bride of Chucky, died, had her soul put into the doll, died as the doll, had the doll brought back to life by her son that she had while she was a doll. And then she's going to take her soul out of the doll and put it back into Jennifer Tilly's body. I guess I just have to ignore the fact that she was in Bride of Chucky and just watch this unfold in front of me. But it's hard to do.
Redman, I was wondering.
Because if she accomplishes that, there's going to be a turn here where the real life Jennifer Tilly switches and becomes Tiffany. Right? And then it's going to be the... most improved what? Oh, he's getting those blackmail photos of Redman and Jennifer Tilly. They're just two adults trying to fuck. What's up with that? Why do you need pictures? I mean, I can understand why you want to look at pictures, but oh, he just, yeah. Oh my God. See, swerving deep into the juvenile humor realm, showing Chucky jerking off.
Jesus, God bless the little people.
Called them little people there. He called them midgets before.
Why not?
What will people say?
Man, fuck what people say. You know what I'm saying? This was meant to be, baby, for real. Know how I know? Because the man upstairs told me so.
Really?
Hell yeah. Look.
Really?
Only one God's been talking.
You falling for that bullshit game?
He personally told me that you was my virgin.
Redman is better at acting in a comedy. He's just, none of this is coming off like it's a scary movie. It's a comedy with some murders in it, I guess.
And you should be ashamed of yourself. Where's your self?
It's become a TV show 7 seasons in where only hardcore fans still watch, and you're definitely not acquiring any new audience. And it starts to turn bad, but you're sticking with it just because you're so invested. That's basically what this has become. Ugh. Super unnecessary score. And now Chucky's walking around with a cup full of semen. Oof. She fell on her face on the tile. And didn't crack her head open or
Now, Miss Tilly,
anything. It's remarkably coherent.
you're probably even wondering if you've gone complete.
Could you have a tighter bra/dress on? The tit meat is just popping out of the top like that.
And this will all seem just
Makes you look fat.
in the meantime, we can do this the easy way.
You think it makes you look skinny because you're like smashing yourself into this small tight dress. But when shit's popping out the top and sides and armpits and back, that makes you look fat.
No wonder her career's in trouble.
Solid throw for someone with an 8-inch arm.
Check it out, dude. Look at the size of this big thing. You know what they say?
Fuck, she's
Big socks and shoes.
can't believe it. She's not even pregnant yet.
That's kind of funny. Jennifer Tilly calling herself fat, but I didn't laugh. Ugh, now she's gonna shoot Chucky's semen.
Control just
Chucky's face looks to be shaped weird there. That was... She's gonna squirt Chucky's jizz into Jennifer Tilly. Ugh. Where's their son? Oh, he's sleeping. And he's still in denial about his true nature. Scotty, don't. Runtime check, we're at 42:17. That's a little bit disappointing. I was hoping we were closer to the end, I'm gonna be honest.
we're gonna have our own boys' night out, just you and me. How's that sound?
Where are we going?
Hunting.
So, they couldn't wait till they were in the human bodies to fuck and try to produce the baby. They needed to put Chucky's doll semen into Jennifer Tilly as a human? I don't... They're trying to imply this is Britney Spears. It looked kind of like her, but it's not really her. I guess that's like parody. You can get a right way with that. It's not a trademark infringement or anything. Chucky's steering and Glenn is working the pedals. Oh, and they just caused Britney to drive off a cliff. That's another thing for... It's a juvenile sense of humor thing, so people who hate Britney Spears can go, oh, fuck yeah! I'm surprised we haven't had more of the weed culture and heavy metal worked into this yet, so they can satisfy all those little niches. What do you think, you're fucking Inspector Gadget? Dun-dun-dun-dun, Inspector Gadget.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus ain't got nothing to do with it. Oh, brother, you in trouble now. Maybe you get phone, ring police. Maybe not. Slice his Achilles, son. You just a bitch. You're balding, dude. Quit fighting it. Just shave your head. It's over. Chucky's Mission Impossible game is strong. Oh, shit. He tried to save him, and in doing so caused him to trip and fall against a shelf. Sulfuric acid fell on his head and melted his face away. I appreciate that they attempted to show us what that would look like, but they it didn't look authentic at all. I don't know what happens to your head if you dump sulfuric acid on it, but the way that they made his skin melt away just didn't look real to me. It looked fake. They probably should have shown it fall on his head and then like done some screaming and reaction of the boy, Glenn, and then go back and show the effect of once he's all done. Don't try to show the transition, because that's where they didn't do an effective job.
Really got wired last night.
Yeah. Hitman, should we?
You don't remember?
No. It's all a blur.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Speaking of it, I don't know why It's All a Dream reminded me of this, but Blazers are up on the Thunder 3-1. Russell Westbrook, where you at, motherfucker?
I do remember.
Talk all that shit when you're winning, and then when you lose, you ain't got nothing to say.
My guardian.
One of the worst sports I've ever seen in my life, Russell Westbrook is.
Voice I've ever heard.
He can only talk shit when he's winning.
Respect myself.
Literally, that's the only time he's got anything to say.
Ask for my autograph.
He'll talk shit on the court, he'll talk shit to the fans, all that, to the press, and then
Okay.
he gets his ass whooped in a game and plays like shit,
Myself.
and he can't answer one fucking question at the press conference. Acts like a little pouting baby, like a little kid. No comment. Next question. Sitting there staring down at the fucking tape on his hand like a scolded dog.
Must make commands to anyone he or she.
Like, he's a good athlete. Respect to him for that. He's great at basketball, but like character-wise, nah. Like, do I think I would like to hang out with that dude? No.
The widow of Robert Bailey.
Looking like Bodie from The Wire.
Mrs. Bailey, my name is Tiffany Ray. You don't know me, but a few years ago I killed your husband.
I don't have a problem with showing out. If you wanna be a trash talker, if that's your game, cool.
No,
But
I'm completely
when you get your ass handed to you,
You know, I'm a recovery
don't clam up.
and I've put all of that behind me.
Either come back with it, either double down
Thank you.
and say that was a fluke, that was bullshit, I'm gonna get them next time, or be humble and say they whooped my ass tonight, I gotta do better. But don't just, like, you're too good to answer for your performance. Just, oh, no. I only got stuff to say when I do well. Otherwise, y'all can fuck yourself. As my grandpa would say, that gives me gas.
Wasn't there something important you wanted to tell me?
Well, the thing is, Jennifer,
Ugh. So she's overnight pregnant, like,
Sorry, I don't know what's gotten into me.
doll semen
Saying,
gestates at a incredible rate, apparently. Like, you have the babies, like, so apparently it was effective. The turkey baster with Chucky's semen.
What should we do today?
Chucky's on one of those kicks, like, where a dad decides he's going to get his son into pro wrestling or football or golf. You know, I'm going to get him into more manly activities. We're going to go fishing and camping. We're going to build a fence. Chucky's like, we're going to go out and cause mayhem every day until this kid flips the switch and stops being such a pussy.
I'm pregnant.
Say what?
Redmond. I said I'm pregnant.
Redmond?
Congratulations, who's the baby daddy? Don't even look at me.
Well, I haven't slept with anyone else to advance my career lately.
Who are you kidding?
I haven't slept with anyone else to advance my career lately.
I know I come off all slutty.
I get that they're trying to parody the situation and make a mockery of people who do that, but it's so fucking dumb. Oh, sweet Jesus. I apologize if you're a diehard fan of the Child's Play franchise, if that's your shit. Cool, man. More power to you. You probably don't want to listen to my podcasts about Child's Play,
That's impossible.
because,
Hey, Jennifer,
woo.
I hate to break it to you, but I can't hire you if you're pregnant.
Oh, shit.
The character's pregnant.
Yeah, I know, but I have a very specific vision of her. And what can I say? She has to be.
Bought the ticket, take the ride, right? I gotta see where it goes now. I jumped on.
Yes, I'm in recovery, and I'm afraid I'm going to have a snap.
Oh, are you really good?
Maybe not an option. I just freak every
I can say on the positive, the dolls look very good. Chucky and Tiffany, I don't have any qualms there. Even Glenn, I mean, he's ugly as fuck. I don't know why he has the shitty haircut and the green skin and the pointy ass chin, but as he's effective as looking like he's an actual doll there, except for the little digital parts, some green screening. They tried to get away with more than they should have, but the actual dolls themselves that the special effects team created are good. It's shot like a professional movie. It's shot well, it's lit well. They kind of tried to score it, but it's slapstick and parody, so the score doesn't even really fit because you're not really ever scared or on edge about any of it. I mean, they might as well have gone with Halloween 5. And I can see how after this they didn't get another theater release. This is boo boo, as my old friend Lamontre used to say. I'm gonna take a piss. Y'all listen to the movie for a minute.
It's been another murder. What? No, I told you where I was. So it's right here. Oh, there. What? I don't know. You're not telling me she's suspect.
And we're here again. You guys want a hot take on the Child's Play franchise? Bride of Chucky's the best one. Boom. Prove me wrong. Do it. Jesus. Whew. My dog just came walking out of the other room, and it's entirely dark in the house. So I had no idea she was there until she set foot in the kitchen and her claws started clicking on the floor. And it scared the shit out of me. I just look up and click, 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 and something's walking at me. Whew. So yeah, this shit that I'm watching right now is garbage. I'm telling, but
They're executing Martha Stewart this
and the first one and the second one, they just didn't know what they were doing yet. And the third one's cheesy as fuck.
It's a voodoo
But they were honing their abilities, like they were figuring out more of what to do with Chucky and how to use him as they went along. The problem is the movies just got worse and worse. And then I feel like with Bride of Chucky, they finally hit their stride as far as hitting the metal fans, getting into more of the comedy realm, and just kind of embracing who their fans actually were, using Chucky in more feasible situations, teaming him up with Tiffany. To that point in the series, it's the best shot, scored, music, color, all that. It's the best. The ending kind of garbage, but I think that I'd say Bride of Chucky's the best one. Final answer, Regis. So,
It's definitely not Red Man's but an asshole. What makes you say that? Say what? The Red Man is an asshole. I didn't say it. You did. No, I didn't. So he's an asshole.
I'm having a cigarette at my patio door, so I can't see the screen well enough to see if she's actually blown up big or not. I'm curious if Chucky just has some magic sperm that makes the baby grow in a fucking day and a half. Oh fuck, she's being attacked by Chucky now?
I heard you scream. I can still hear you screaming.
Case in point, this is a situation that is stupid to have Chucky in. He's riding on her back, wrestling with her. He's a little doll. Grab him by the hair and throw him across the room. These are the mistakes the first few movies made. He managed to get her unconscious and tie her up. He didn't kill her though. She is you, you're going to be her. This is all very... I'm gonna be at a loss for things to talk about the way this shit's going. What a train wreck.
We weren't gonna do this shit anymore.
I'm sorry guys, I could have come out of the gate with more of a bang than this. poor choice on my part. I'm gonna have to seriously reconsider if I want to do the other movies or not. I have a slight bit of morbid curiosity, but fuck me. This actually feels like work. That's an interesting point. Were they just going to turn themselves into people and then keep their doll son?
What is it? I'm not sure. Sometimes I feel like a boy.
Oh boy.
I feel like a girl.
We're going to have this fucking transgender conversation right now.
Well, some people.
No way.
Well, one thing I do know for sure.
This is too real for the current political climate for me.
Whatever. I'm so proud of you. No matter what happened, we're dealing with each other.
What's your pronoun?
Family.
Okay, Lucas. Wait a minute. I'm not gonna let you poison our son's mind with your touchy-feely 12-step bullshit.
Oh my god. This is like the left and the right arguing with each other right now. But it's in a movie in 2004.
I'm ashamed to be a killer. I'm proud of it. It's not an addiction. It is a choice.
Come on.
And it is not something that you
So our solution to the problem at hand of what to do about this fucking movie is to just smoke our way out of it. Are you with me? Let's do it, motherfuckers. Let's get loose. Let's throw caution to the wind and see what comes. I'm gonna come. Please believe I'm gonna come.
That fucker really had it
Oh.
Jennifer, I love you. Sam.
They accidentally killed Red Man. So now they've got to lure the limo driver, who is real life in love with Jennifer Tilly, back so that Chucky can have his body. I'm going to say, just based off racial stereotypes, that you'd rather be Red Man.
You really do make a cute couple, don't you think? It's like my mother always said.
praise. Enough with your mother already. That bitch 20 years old still won't shut up.
It's weird to watch a former horror franchise try to turn themselves into a slapstick comedy film, but not be funny. It just becomes very hard to watch. It's almost like it's a movie made for children, but it's clearly not because of the murder.
Bitch, Joan. I'll take care of her. I wouldn't want you to violate your delicate sensibilities.
Ooh, the mouth was a little bit off there. His mouth wasn't moving as accurate as it should for his words. Seemed to be better in the last movie, if I'm being honest. Then again, damn near everything was better in the last movie. If you would have asked me before I embarked on this journey to guess what, like, if you would have said rank the Child's Play movies, at least what the order you think that they probably go in from best to worst, without any knowledge, just the way you would guess it would go, I would have said the first one's probably the best, the second one's probably the next best, the third one is probably bad because that killed it for a little while. So that would be a guess that that's the reason, is that the third one was bad and people didn't want to come back for more. Bride of Chucky I had seen enough, so I would assume that's probably third in line. So and then I wouldn't, you know, I'd guess the rest, but I would have assumed that the first couple entries in the franchise were strong, and they're not. It's very peculiar to me how it has so much staying power. They made a lot of money off of some poor execution of a slightly ridiculous idea. But there's a lot of, good on them for being able to make their project, have some success, make a living. I don't know if I could. I want people to like what I'm putting out, and I don't want to feel like I'm gaming the system or getting away with something. I want to actually make it. Does that make sense? I don't think I would ever want to just make a living passing off bullshit just because it was easy and I knew I could do it. That wouldn't be satisfying to me. By the way, I've started designing t-shirts. I'll throw the link to my page on Amazon. They're up on Amazon. That's where you buy them. What am I looking at? What the fuck just happened? What the hell just happened?
Congratulations. Oh, you both win. A real lady killer.
So Glenn went full transgender. This is just so parallel to real life right now. I almost can't take it.
What did I do? At least I spent time with the kid.
Glenn, wake up. Stop it, Mommy. You wrinkle my dress.
I'm curious to see how this plays out and how upset people would be with
Like mother, like daughter, right?
the message nowadays. Because it seemed like they were kind of encouraging it and promoting it. But now that he's decided to dress up as a woman, both parents are scolding him and criticizing him. And she just slapped the woman out of him. Now he's back to being Glenn. It's almost like he had a mental illness.
What am I?
Something was broken in his head for a second and she slapped him and set it straight. I don't know. It's a weird fucking movie. Anyway, yeah, start selling t-shirts. If you look for Avarice Trading LLC on Amazon, clothing store, whatever, you should be able to find it. I'll try to remember to throw the link in the comments down below. Yeah, check it out. Support. Buy something. Some of my ideas that I come up with on that podcast are going to make their way onto those t-shirts. I'm thinking about coming up with a knife block on the knife stand one, maybe chasing with chainsaws. We'll see how it goes. But I arrived at the t-shirt thing because of the like integrity thing in your work and wanting to not just pass off bullshit. You can do some kind of tricks, you know, steal other people's logos and change them up a little bit. Just straight up infringe on people's trademarks, but do it for a short period of time so you never really get caught and they don't have a chance to react. But to me, that's passing off garbage. That's not... Like, are you proud to tell somebody you do that? Or I would rather create something, come up with something, design it myself. That's my thing. Make it on my own shit, not just a variation of your shit. That's not my steez. That's in season 2 of The Wire. I think it's Frank. Is talking to the Greek. I believe that's the conversation. Anyway. He says, in this country, we used to make shit and build shit. Now, everybody's just got their hand in the next guy's pocket. And I think that that's pretty accurate. At the end of the day, I want to have a body of work. I want to have fucking done something. Not just move numbers from here to there. Not just take this and change it up and put it out as my own. Not recycle somebody else's trash. Actually have something that I did that you can point to and say, that was mine. And if I made it, it was based off my shit. I don't want that skeleton in the closet that I pulled some fucking trick or some scheme. It would be the same thing to me if I was an athlete with steroids and shit like that. I get why people do it. They want the advantage, all that. It's their living. I wouldn't be able to live knowing in the back of my head that maybe that's the reason I made it and I might get caught any day. That would fucking eat me alive. I'd have to play it straight for my own sanity.
This is what it takes to be human, and I would rather take my chances as a supernaturally possessed doll that's less complicated.
You can't be serious.
As a heart attack.
Oh, so they've decided to not put their souls back into human bodies. My dog's whining because she's hungry. I'm going to have to go feed her or she's not going to shut up. So I'll listen to the movie for a second.
I want to be Jennifer Tilly. I want to be a star.
And I don't want to be your chauffeur. As a dog, I'm fucking infamous. I'm one of the most notorious slashers in history, and I don't want to give that up. I am Chucky, the killer dog. I dig it. I have everything I want.
Okay, so he's decided to embrace being the doll and own it.
This is who I am.
The pursuit in every movie to this point has been him trying to get his soul into a human's body. And it is tired. Maybe we should have veered off that course before this whole movie was over. But I'm okay with that. But what are you going to do? It just becomes, you know, this is your life, Chucky.
Nobody leaves me.
What the... She's going to try to leave Chucky and take the kid. Oh! That guy made it deep into the movie for such an insignificant role. Now we have Tiffany on Chucky violence. Similar to the end of the last movie, the dolls are feuding. She had twins. She already had the babies. I missed that, I guess. I was fucking talking and not paying attention. It's all so dumb.
I just want to know where they are.
So Chucky's sperm does gestate very rapidly compared to that of a human being. Even when in a human being's body, it's very peculiar.
I already talked to the cops. They cleared
Somehow his sperm alters the biology of the carrier's womb.
Yeah, well, I suggest from now on you keep that to yourself.
I missed what was said there for the most part.
Try to get some sleep.
You try to get some sleep on your curly hair. It's your natural pillow. And her babies look like people. Even though it was I don't even think they care if it makes sense. They just decide what they're gonna do and do it. Takes a lot of balls. What's weird to me though is that you should have so much continuity because it's so many returning faces. Like Brad Dourif's always in it. Don Mancini is always involved. So you should have so much consistency. It's the same mind. It's not like the Halloween franchise that kept getting passed from different writers and directors, you know, like this fucking hot potato. So it's everybody's fresh take, their fucking bullshit new idea. You would think that he would have had an idea where he wanted to go with it for a long period of time from the beginning. Like, as soon as you write Child's Play, doesn't your brain start deciding where you're going to go with it? And don't you, like, that's where my brain would do. I wouldn't be able to stop thinking about it. What's next? What's next? And I'd want it to all link together and make sense. I would really get extravagant with it. Wouldn't just be like every few years it randomly gets hits me in the face. I have to write a new movie and I come up with some dog shit. See, this is the fucking the full spell. How come the son got away with saying one line of it at the beginning? The switch isn't part of it. Damn, he just axed her right in the head. You can do a pretty good shot with dolls because it's all fake. I mean, they're not actually living. His teeth have lipstick on them.
Or boy. Whatever. Don't make the same mistakes your mom and dad made.
See, Tiffany was always kind of half in, half out on the murderous rampage lifestyle, the kind of natural born killer gig. And the son isn't into it at all. Chucky is, of course, fully engaged. So, I think she just convinced the son to not be like Chucky. And is he gonna do some samurai shit and kill the father? See the way he just kicked Chucky? That's what people should have been doing for all 5 of these fucking movies. Just a solid kick. No can defend. When done right, no can defense. What? Now we're doing some Matrix Shaolin Tiger fucking Kung Fu in the Park bullshit?
No, Dad! It's me! Your boy! Your chip off the old block!
Ooh. He severed Chucky's arm. And his other arm. And his leg, all 4 limbs severed. Poetic justice. Chucky dismembered by his own son, and he's proud. What did this movie turn into? Is this like a morality tale? Now this young boy has found his way, and to do that he had to kill his past, figuratively and literally. Come to grips with his true identity. Is that how it ends? 5 years later. Oh my God, what are we doing?
Yesterday, she gave Dave a shot on her bloody nose and took
Oh, we need more Jennifer Tilly.
she called
Oh, those kids are Chucky's. God damn it.
That's ridiculous. Glenn, he's an angel, an absolute dream. But Linda, she's a bad girl, Miss Glenda? Claudia.
She actually named her kids Glenn and Glenda.
I can't work here anymore. What? I'm sorry, I just can't. If you only saw the way she looks at me. With such hate. Alright, Claudia. If that's what you want. I'll miss you. Thank you, Miss Tilly. God bless.
I'm just trying to absorb what I'm watching right now, guys. I'm sorry. What the fuck? What are you doing? She's murdering the babysitter with the doll? What are we implying here? Somehow she became murderous because of Chucky fucking her? Or I don't even... Or the doll got partially transferred? Or the doll was transferred? What do we... I don't understand. And somehow the doll's semen put into Jennifer Tilly produced human kids, but they have Chucky-like traits. Did she keep the doll, Glenn? The movie's almost over. This is a hell of a sandwich to put in front of me right before you leave. I need to dissect this bitch and see what ingredients you used before I decide if I'm going to eat it or not. What?
I got her wish. She's a bright, shining star. Now we're the perfect family. I've learnt a lot about myself. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not a freak. And even though we had our differences, I know my dad really loved me.
Oh, Glenn. Glenn, sweetheart, come over here. Sweetheart, look. Here's another one. Who's it from, Mommy? Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Doesn't say.
I don't understand. Where's Glenn the doll?
Don't run so fast.
There was the two babies she had, two real babies. That voiceover was by Glenn the doll. What the fuck are we doing? So Glenn the doll is now in a person? Oh my god. I'm not even gonna bother to try to connect those dots. That was just so much tomfoolery and fuckery. So I guess the implication is that Tiffany actually managed to get at least partially her soul transferred into Jennifer Tilly. And that they put Glenn's soul into the boy? And left the girl. I don't fucking know. I don't know. And that even though Chucky got all four limbs and his head severed from his body, somehow his arm got mailed to little boy Glenn and it jumped out and attacked him all on its own, just an arm. It was... Whew. That was an undertaking. I appreciate anybody who stuck with me through this shit sandwich. And I don't really have a whole lot more to say about it. I'll probably never watch this movie again. That's not necessary. This is a one and done for me. And I don't even know if I'm going to do a review on it because I don't have really anything good to say, and it would just be retreading a lot of the shit I've already said about the other films. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thanks for sticking with me and listening, guys. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, all that good shit. Check out the links to my shirt store I'm going to put below. Check out the YouTube channel, podcast on the SoundCloud, Instagram, Avarice Podcast, all that good shit. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy.